nourishing breath of God, right where we are. Breathe deeply and release slowly as you become aware and present to the divine that is always within, always without. Everywhere we are, God is. For everything that exists is pressed out of the body and the mind of God. So go ahead and relax into this meditation. Close your eyes, center into Source. But there's no place we can go where God is not. Breathe deep another breath, given from the Most High presence within. For we are called to live, to move, to have our being in Source. This is the very substance and essence of God, right where we are, here and now. This divine presence has given us a spirit of love. Breathe that in deeply. A sound mind, full of joy. Rejoice in this holy presence that we are, that has given us so many gifts in every moment. Your breath is the very breath of God breathing us. Feel this power in your breathing all the way down to the soles of your feet. For your cells glory in the presence of God's presence. The moment we are aware, something skips and dances in our souls. For we are God's very own. There's never been a time when we are alone. Deepen into that word, alone, and recognize that it is all one. We are in the presence of the allness that is. And that presence is the light. It is the love shining and guiding us along our way, every step of the way. Go deeper now. Deepen into this breath of God that we are. Deeper than you've ever been before. So that you really feel the presence of God within you. Every cell radiating outward in every direction, touching people, the people in your lives, touching the things in your life. And just be grateful for what is in this moment. Feel the thanksgiving in your heart, healing everything and everyone it touches. In the silence of our minds, we sink into the very depths of this goodness. And we feel it working in the inner recesses of our being. It's already done. No matter what it is in our lives that needs to be done, God is already on it. And we feel it. And it makes our heart feel so much better. For there's nothing too great for our God. And as we live in the knowing of what God has done, we live in truth and peace. Our lives work better because we start with God. Be with this divinity. Deepen into it even more. But there's never a place where God is not. And in the next few moments of silence, truly be with the Holy of Holies within. Spend time in the presence, in this divine love, where we become the best we can be. In this sacred, holy space, in the Most High, we come back replenished, filled, overflowing, back to these moments called our lives. And we come back with Source leading and guiding us on our way. For we have been filled. We've been filled. And oh, what a blessing it is. For ourselves, for those we love, and the people we come into contact with. Bring the presence wherever we go. And so it is. Amen.
Everybody should have received a handout in your hymnal that's Blessing to the World. We're going to sing this 3 times. The first time starts with you, and then I am, and then we are. Please stand. attending the Unity Urban Ministerial School, where she will soon be graduating. We are also very excited that starting in October, Reverend Angela will begin her 6-month internship right here at Unity of Alignment. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Angela Davis.
Hi everyone, how are you today? Are you feeling full? Or are you feeling empty?
Somewhere in between.
Good, that's a good place to be because today we're going to go from a place of emptiness. I'm going to be working with us with some tools on how to create miracles in our lives. How many people in here want a miracle in their lives? Okay, good. This is a great time then for miracles. There was once a family circus cartoon. How many people used to read the comics on Sundays? Oh, I love them. And I used to love Family Circus the best because the kids are always saying things. So one time, there was just only one piece of cake left. And little Billy looked at it and he said, "That piece is mine." And his mom intervened and she said, "Now, Billy, in a case like this, what would Jesus do?" And you know what Billy said? "Well, I just multiplied into 5,000 pieces." So this month, we're going, not this month, but every time I come, since I'm going to be here more regularly, I'm going to be giving you these tools. There are 12 of them in all, and there's 2 of them that we're going to cover today. And we're going to be exploring this profound teaching of how to create miracles in our lives, because when I joined Unity, boy, was it fun creating miracles. How many people have been creating miracles in their lives with these principles? Okay, well, if you haven't, don't worry. I'm going to put you right in here to get started with that presence within you that will allow you to create so much amazingness in your lives. People are going to start saying, here she comes again, I bet you something else has happened. That's amazing. She always has amazing stories. So according to a book called The 12 Conditions of a Miracle, there's nothing supernatural about miracles. That when you set up the right conditions, the miracles will just ordinarily happen. And Charles Fillmore, one of the founders of Unity, he says, God never performs miracles. If by miracle is meant a departure from universal law, whatever the prophets did was done by the operation of laws that are already here. It's all around us. And all we have to do is discover how to put our mark upon it, how to put our print upon it, and make use of these tools in our own lives. So the formula, if you will, for having a consciousness where miracles automatically happen is embedded in the well-known miracle that Bible scholars have thought that there was something unique about it for 2 important reasons. Now, you all know the miracle of the fishes and the loaves of bread, right? But I bet you didn't know this. Did you know that it's in the book of Matthew not once, but twice? That's just the way that the universe is saying, or God is saying to us, hey, pay attention to this. This is really important. I'm giving it to you twice. There's something special about this miracle. So the first miracle happens, Matthew, the 14th chapter, the 13th through the 23rd verse. And it goes like this. When Jesus heard of it, he departed thence by ship into a desert place apart. And when the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. Imagine that. Someone speaking, and they don't want to even let him leave. They start following him. And as Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion towards them, and he healed their sick. And when it was evening, his disciples came to him and saying, this is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send these people away, that they may go into their villages and buy themselves some victuals, some food. But Jesus said unto them, good part. Let's give them something to eat. Now think about the places you've been and people say, oh, we're going to give you something to eat. Then something kind of leap inside you. Don't you get a little happy? Ooh, I'm going to get some food. And they said unto him, how are we going to do that? We only have 5 loaves and 2 fishes. That's not enough to feed everybody here. And he said, well, bring me those loaves and fishes. He commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and he brake. And he gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples gave them to the multitude. And so they did all eat, and they were full, and they took up the fragments that remained, and there were 12 baskets full. And they had eaten, there were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him onto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. Okay, now I already told you it's in here twice. So now you're going to hear it again, but from a different perspective. And this is Matthew, the very next chapter in the book of Matthew. So we go to Matthew 15, this verses 32 to 39. And Jesus calls his disciples unto him, and he said, I have compassion on the multitude, because they continue with me now for 3 days, and they have nothing to eat. And I will not send them away fasting unless they faint straightway. And his disciples said unto him, whence should we have so much bread in the wilderness as to fill a great multitude? And Jesus said unto them, well, how many loaves do you have? And they said, 7. And only a few little fishes. You ever feel like that in your life? Oh, I got this, and I only have a few with this part. I don't have much at all. Ever feel that way? We're going to do something about that. And his disciples said, and Jesus said, well, okay. He commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground, and he took the 7 loaves and the fishes, and he gave thanks, and he brake them, and he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And then they did all eat and were filled. And they took up the broken meat that was left, 7 baskets full. Ooh, wouldn't you like to see that in your life? Well, I started with just a few. Now I have all of this. And they did eat. There were 4,000 men besides women and children. And he sent away the multitudes and took the ship and came into the coast of Magdala. So embedded in those 2 scripture readings is a miracle. I'm going to just lift this up a little bit because I can hear a little bit of a vibration going on. But the thing that we're going to look at right now, it's almost like Jesus was saying, I'm going to show you how I did this the first time. And then just in case you missed something, I'm going to show it to you again, so you can do it for yourselves. Now, it's logical that a master teacher will want to make sure we understood how to do this ourselves, right? Because we all know, while it's good to give somebody a fish, it's better to teach them how to fish, right? So they know how to do it themselves. And it would seem logical that we could find a lesson somewhere in these teachings that gives us specific instructions for how this miracle was done. The King James Version doesn't give specific instructions, but today we're going to learn a little bit more. You see, when you're learning the Bible, usually when you have to go to school, you have to know either Greek or you have to know Hebrew fluently or some derivative like that. They won't accept you into a doctoral program unless you know the language so that you can read and interpret it for yourself. It's not an easy task because Greek is complex, and even with a trained scholar doing it, they struggle over the translations. That's why we have so many translations of the Bible today, because everybody who knows the language reads it and says, oh, I can do this better. And they do it better for themselves. In the beginning was the Word. You've heard that, but it's written all in Greek. So you got to look in a standard Greek dictionary, and you will find that the word logos, takes almost 3 pages to tell you what it means in Greek. But if that's not confusing enough, in the book, the Encyclopedia of Religion and Philosophy, there's 12 pages on just this term. So we're not talking about something at a superficial level. Logos can refer to a spoken or a written word. There's power in the words that we speak and power when we write it. But more importantly, logos refers to that which gives rise to words. In other words, words rise up off the paper because words become things. Our thoughts become things. So when we are focused and concentrated on these words, on the logos, things start happening to our mind. In fact, scientists say things start happening in our brain, in our bodies. Things begin to move and shift when we change our perception, when we change our thoughts, when we begin speaking words like affirmations and denials to get us where we want to be. Logos can also refer to a creative cause where it affects relationships between your thoughts and your words. And not just your thoughts and your words with yourself, but your thoughts and your words with others, with the people that you're working with. What you say affects others. Your words have power, and either you are using your power or you hold it back on us. You hold it back on the people, on yourself, and on those in your lives. And so today, I want you to understand, in the beginning was a thought, a powerful potential, a creative intent that ultimately gave rise to the entire universe. And what I'm about to tell you is going to astound you. Because this is so complex. Every time I think about how the universe started, it started over 15 billion years ago. Can you wrap your mind around that thought? 15 billion? That's before anything was anything. And all we had all around us was emptiness. Now, I'm talking about emptiness in this because the first condition for a miracle is emptiness. So there's no earth, there's no solar system, there's no Milky Way, there's no galaxies, there's no nothing. And then in the blink of an eye, there was an explosion of incomprehensible force. You can't even begin to imagine it. And that explosion came from a speck no bigger than an atom. Keep in mind, we can't see atoms with the naked eye. Everything that is, everything that was yet to be was in that tiny speck. It was enough to form every star, every planet, every galaxy was released from a speck that was smaller than an atom. Our Earth is part of a Milky Way galaxy which contains about 200 billion stars and all of that. The sun is a star. So just begin to imagine, wrap your mind around this because it's mind-boggling. But here's the part that's mind-boggling. It all happened in a second. But if that second had been off by even part of a second, none of this would be. We wouldn't have anything here. And here's the other thing that's mind-boggling. 15 billion years ago, before anything was anything, we were also birthed. We were also born in that moment, not on planet Earth. Haven't finished developing yet. But somewhere in the mind of God, you were already there. I was already there. Your children, the people that you know. And we hold our problems closer to us. And I just want you to understand, take those problems and put them in the speck of God's love. No, it doesn't say your love. Put it in the speck of God's love that's within you. And watch miracles begin to unfold in your life. Now let me explain how. See, when Jesus heard something, he left by boat. And what he heard was his best friend, John the Baptist, had been beheaded. And when he heard this, you can imagine he felt some kind of way and it wasn't good. And that's why he left by boat. He had to leave. There's a condition that's always right before a miraculous event. Hollywood likes to use it all the time, the movies. They like to show you something horrible happening. And then it just sets the stage for the amazingness that's about to follow. That's your life. That's your life in living color, in reality. Something terrible happens, so the next time you find yourself in a puddle in tears and you don't know what to do, remember, this is the start of something amazing about to take place in your life. And it starts with something that seems so awful. The next time something awful happens, bless it in your experience. So Jesus went out into the desert for one reason. He had to go get into the emptiness. And you know why we go into the desert, into the emptiness? It's so that we can be in silence, in the nothingness. Anybody here ever been to the desert? I've been several times. And let me tell you, it's an amazing thing. You can open up your mouth and your voice just cannot reach anywhere. And I was walking behind a guy, Sahib or something like that. He didn't have a map. All he had was some sandals on and the rope of the camel. And guiding me and a good friend through the desert. He went, I can't even tell you how he got there. But he took us to a place in the desert. But what I remember most about the desert is its emptiness. You can go and lose yourself in the desert. So when you see everything rushing at you, when you see your energy and your resources seeming dwindling, and you see that your life is not what you want it to be, remember, nature abhors a vacuum. And let's be very clear. Spirit abhors a vacuum. It's not just us, but everything abhors the vacuum. Stuff rushes in to try to start filling it. If somebody pauses in the middle of a sentence, somebody wants to jump in and say something. Because the silence is deafening sometimes. We don't know how to be with it. Start to learn how to be with your silence, because that's where that divinity is. And here's an interesting fact. He didn't just go into the desert before the miracle took place. He went back to the desert after the miracle took place. Because there's something that happens to us when we go before and we go after. We're going back usually with gratitude. We're going back with joy because something amazing has happened in our lives. You are an amazing person. You have amazing things to do on this planet. You have people to touch in your lives. You don't have to be a minister to do that. You just have to be your usual, wonderful, amazing self that you may not even know that you already are. But let me tell you, you are. So we go to the desert, into the emptiness. That's the first part of the miracle. The first part is setting up a miracle. Go into the emptiness. And it's two-pronged. It's inward and outward. We're going to the desert inside of us, and we're going to the desert outside of us, into the quietness, into that vestibule of our own mind. And sometimes, you know how your thoughts don't want to stop talking when you're in that desertness? You do what Christ did. Peace, be still. And tell them to be quiet. You are the only authority in your mind. Nobody else can come in here and say, hey, you stop making all that noise in your mind. Only you have the power, the authority of your own thoughts. And your mind has gotten so accustomed to you saying, oh, whatever you say, mind. It does what it wants, but you. Your thoughts are not a person, they're not a place, they're not a thing. That means they're not real. They just are. And you have the power over those thoughts. So we go into the stillness. And when we meditate, miracles are ours. Not because we're meditating on what it is we want. We're simply sitting in the silence of the truth of our being. The truth of our being from 15 billion years ago. You know how much patience you had to wait to be born? This time in your life? You've been waiting for this time all your life, and you probably before you got here, all the things you wanted to do, all the things you accomplished, and I'm sure some wonderful souls smiled at you knowingly. All the things that you were going to encounter in your life already. But achieving a meditative state is vital in our lives. And this is using our spiritual power because it changes things. It has the capacity to change. Knowledge is information, and information can really help us manifest our dreams. Dreams that we don't find at the level of thought. We gotta go deeper to find out what the real dreams are, what the real things are inside of us that really move us, that really speak to our soul. What speaks to your soul? What moves you? What is it you want at the depths of your being? You can tell yourself, because it's your mind. Because when we go into the silence, we tap into something that's deeper than ourselves. Miracles unfold not by magic, but by knowledge. Money won't magically appear in your wallet. The perfect job won't drop in your lap as you watch TV and eat potato chips on the couch all day. A soulmate will not materialize from thin air and ring your doorbell. Disease will not inexplicably heal you as you continue to think negative thoughts and abuse your body. Instead, by going within to Source, where God is, you will receive insights, you'll get revelations, you'll get knowledge for how to bring your miracle into a physical, tangible form. You're going to get divinely inspired ideas for generating your financial good. You'll come to understand how to create a body that's not riddled with diseases. You want to see, you'll see better. Or be directed where to find the job. Or come into contact with the person who might take you to your soulmate. In some cases, you may find out you're your own soulmate. And just coming to that understanding brings your soulmate in. So we must all find the Father like Christ did in the silence of our minds, in our own inner temple. And we go there day after day because there's something happening when we do it daily. We're building up an energy. We're building up an attention that we're not even aware of. There are things happening on a microscopic cellular level inside your body when we meditate. Spirit is mind. Mind knows. And God is spirit. Well, God is mind. God is what we need to know. And it's not something we have to search for. It's already within us. But it has to be cultivated and communed with as a child communes with its parents. Hey, Daddy, I need to ask you something. Mommy, I need to ask you something. These experiences in us. Fillmore says, we must all find the Father consciously in our own inner temple. And we have to go there day after day and ask for guidance. And mere denials and affirmations will not do it. God is spirit. It's not an abstract that dwells in a vacuum to be invoked by a magical formula. It has to be cultivated. And in Talks on Truth, Fillmore says, so we must all find the Father consciously in our temple. And when we do this, we create a state of emptiness around us to finish setting up that first condition of a miracle. And we can relate to that. Now, the second one is alignment. That's when the second tool is alignment. Jesus came out of the mountains and he had pity on the crowds after he had been there just being in the presence, and he comes out and what does he see? He sees people hurting. He sees people in trouble. And he wants to do something. So what does he do? He says, let's feed these people. Let's take care of these people. He's moved with compassion. And compassion is nothing more but love and action. Love is motion. Love flowing. So this conditional alignment, the second tool I'm telling you about, it means aligning ourselves with this pure love. And after that, Love taketh account not of anything else but love. Love only sees love. Love sees the love in us. Love sees the love in other people. So I want you to look around this room right now. In every place where you see empty seats, see love sitting there. See love sitting in these seats. Because I promise you, there are people out here who need to know how to find love in their lives, how to find plenty. And when we do for others, that comes right back to us. So seeing that love for those people, it opens something up in us on a greater level. And as I bring this lesson to a close, I've already told you the 12 conditions, and I want you to remember the first two: emptiness and alignment. And when you go to your homes today, practice being in the emptiness. Practice emptying your mind. And when we do this, then get with Source. Get with God inside you. Align with that. Set that up. And the next time I'm here, we're going to move into the next 2 or 3. And I promise you, though, by the time we get to the end of these 12 conditions, you'll see miracles springing up all around you. It's kind of mind-blowing. But now I want you to do something I do with my students. They should teach for 30 years. Everybody raise your hands up for me like this. And then wrap them around yourself and give yourself a big hug. Give yourself some love. And do that often during the week. Love yourself because you can. And then go out and just give, don't go hugging everybody. Just send them some love everywhere you are. God bless you.
Now it is time for our tithes and offerings. In our abundance blessing, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so now. This upcoming Saturday, October 5th, we will have funeral services for Tarcesius. Please see the newsletter for details. Did everyone receive an emailed invitation for our installation ceremony taking place on Sunday, October 27th? If so, and you plan to attend, please email us at unityofneworleans@gmail.com with your name, as this will be a catered event. See the newsletter for details. In November, we are looking to start a grief support group that will meet monthly for anyone in need of a safe place to openly share with people who are going through something similar. See the newsletter for details on that too. Is everyone signed up for the newsletter? You need to be with so many things going on. If not, you can see the front desk and scan the QR code so that you can sign up electronically or fill out a card. Are there any new visitors today that would like to introduce themselves? Prayer chaplains are available after the service. Our chaplains will participate with you in prayer and in total confidentiality. They will be in front of the altar up here. Please honor the sacred space and the sanctuary and reserve any after-service conversations and fellowship for the lobby or in the room. My name is Kristen. I am a platform speaker here at the church. I also help out with providing refreshments for events at the church, and I'm also a crisis contact for the church. So let's do our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. While we are absent, one from the other, it helps us to know that we are all one in spirit through our Lord Jesus Christ. I'd like to form a circle to say the peace sign.